Welcome to the 19th episode of Storytellers. Today I'm going to be interviewing Jaime Hayes.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm actually interviewing you today.
Surprise! Hope you enjoy. Welcome everybody to the 19th episode of Storytellers. This one's going to be a little bit different this time, where we're going to flip the roles, and I've asked Jaime Hayes to kind of join me here and interview me. I've had the request pop up a few times over the past 5 years of doing this, that we thought it'd be fun for something a little different this time. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This is really exciting.
I look forward to it, and I'm excited to see where we go with this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a little honored and taken back by, again, being your 19th episode and all the things that you've done, and I'm just interested on your story and wherever you want to take the story from the beginning.
Yeah, all right. Well, the story, it gets kind of long, and there's lots of turns in it, but basically this company started as two guys working in a basement. Back in 2007, I had a good friend of mine approach me about joining his company at the time. We were called Stokes Advertising and Promotions, worked out of his home basement here in Petrolia as a marketing consulting agency, working with primarily local clients, doing kind of a one-stop shop of helping clients spend their advertising budgets wisely. I went to school for graphic design. He went to school for marketing and advertising, and we thought it was a great little mix to kind of come together. We worked together till 2011. We moved to a different location in Petrolia. Again, started to grow different customers, different opportunities and stuff like that, and realized at that time that the partnership just really wasn't working the way it was, so we decided to kind of go our separate ways. I, at that time, changed the company name to Country Road Graphics, is what I called it. Had two or three staff, and told the staff, this is new, this is different. I'm not sure what the future of this company is going to bring. I'm going to be ready to pivot and move this wherever, whenever, and however quickly I need to. So we're going to try it. We're going to stay course, but if things go sideways, I'm going to basically, scale down and work out of my house. And I live outside of Allinston, so, Country Road Graphics was pretty creative and different at that time. We thought we'd kind of go that approach. Well, we kind of put our head down and started running. 2011, by about 2014, we had worked with building a relationship with a major brand, Arctic Cat, snowmobiles, ATVs, side-by-sides, to a point where they were inviting us to their dealer shows in Vegas, and we were doing direct mail campaigns for every dealer in North America, and it was just awesome. Tons of fun and excitement, and we'd go a couple times a year to their dealer shows, and we'd be this tiny fish in this big pond, these great big elaborate shows, and our neighboring booth, there's only maybe a dozen vendors at these shows that would have to be invited to be there and stuff like that. The neighboring company, I remember talking to them, had they were part of a web development team with 1,500 employees across North America. He said, how the hell did you guys get here? I'm like, well, we built a relationship with the local guys and kind of worked our way up. We have 5 employees based in Petrolia, Ontario and stuff like that, but we were able to kind of work our way in with dealers and DSMs and executives and stuff to kind of build a great relationship with people in that industry and in that company. We did that for, I'm going to say 3, 4, 5 years we worked with them. So there was a point, so actually while we were kind of working with Arctic Cat and getting these big, great, crazy, awesome contracts and opportunities, I realized this isn't going to be here forever. I need to continue to build our local presence and develop our footprint in Sarnia Realty, because what's here today can be gone tomorrow just as fast. And I was right, it did end up disappearing. But we definitely continued to focus on local clients and building local relationships so that when the big fancy stuff left, we wouldn't be left without anything. But fortunately, we kind of took the success we had there and continued to build locally, that we still had momentum going and we were able to kind of carry on. It was at one of those Arctic Cat shows where I realized our name, Country Road Graphics, really didn't represent who we are and what we did. I was working the booth one time, and a guy come up to me and looked at our sign, big trade show display behind us, and says, you owe me $1. I said, what do you mean? Well, you owe me $1, Country Road. I'm like, I'm not following you, man. What's going on? Well, I'm from West Virginia, and John Denver wrote a song, Country Road, Take Me Home, West Virginia. So every time you use that, you owe us $1. I'm like, I got you. So he, the way he said it, it kind of hit me. I'm like, you know what? We're not being looked at the same way I was hoping customers look at us in terms of our full potential. We started as two guys in the basement. At this point, we had a team with experiences on all sorts of different marketing aspects. That we needed to do something different to help people look at us differently. And that's where we rebranded again for the third time to See Our Creative. It kind of was just a natural evolution, even in a creative industry we are, it took months and months and months for all of us to agree on a logo and a name and a color and all that sort of stuff. But almost immediately out of the gate, it accomplished what I was hoping it would, where we had customers who only ever looked at us as a small little graphic design agency in a completely new way, where we can help with strategy and marketing and branding and all that. And we had these everyday customers that would only maybe trust us with business card printing or little things like that, trusting us with their entire marketing budget. So it was a fantastic pivot at a great time. It was 2018. In 2017, we moved to this location here in Wyoming, and we're able to kind of take all of our skills and put them under one roof. We have our whole production shop in the back now, where we can do all of our print and embroidery and stuff like that here, and then all of our designers and salespeople and everything could be out front. Then COVID hit and everybody kind of dispersed a little bit, but it's kind of brought us to where we are today, to be this kind of single source marketing agency that can help with a massive array of different products and services. So
I saw that your back is very impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you did all these things. It's like a bag full of tricks back there.
Yeah, and continuing to grow and go and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, congrats to you. The basement. I love that you started off in a basement, and it's amazing what a dream can produce and kind of bloom into. So
just hard work and head down and running. That's all it was.
Right. Just stay focused on your.
We don't have the thirsty. We used to have thirsty Wednesday afternoons and Thursday afternoons and Friday afternoons. Now we kind of limit that a little bit, but it was fun. Yeah.
Since you kind of finished with COVID there, I'm going to jump around.
Sure.
So when it hit, because you're kind of, when you bought this place, it was shortly thereafter that hit.
Yeah.
Was there any pivotal moments where you're like, we have to start operating differently as far as more social media or more digital, because of the halt in interaction with your customers?
There was a whole array of, changes, obviously, like everybody. And I'll be clear, there's going to be swearing in this episode because I swear. So there was 2 or 3 times where it's like, fuck, what are we going to do now? Yeah. The area we're sitting in right now.
It's a good go-to word in that situation.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure that word got thrown in a lot the last couple of years. But I remember quite vividly in March 17th is that day that's burned into my brain when they said we have to shut down. We kind of talked about it and planned on it. And even like the space we have here was built and we designed it in a way that it could be kind of a massive central meeting area where we had a dozen people, designers and programmers and everybody in one open concept location to kind of spark creativity and help that sort of thing, where that next day everybody was home. We obviously leveraged technology as quick as we possibly could with Zoom meetings and virtual happy hours and stuff like that. Client meetings all transitioned over to that. Like I consider myself one of the last of the dying breed with my generation that loves shaking hands and seeing people. That was done. So trying to business develop and sort of that sort of thing was completely different and spun us on our head. But we made it work, and begrudgingly, I never thought in a million years I'd be okay with having a virtual staff. But now the virtual staff is killing it, and they prove that they can, work from home and still maintain efficiency and effectiveness. And we're not going back to having a full in-house staff. So again, with customers, we found we service customers all over the place now, so we can jump on an hour-long Zoom meeting. Everybody can. Get what they need done and carry on. So some of these things are absolutely going to stay, I think, moving forward, these transitions and stuff. But getting back to, talking to people in person like this is something I've really missed, and glad that that's starting to come back slowly but surely. So,
But it's nice that you were able to turn a negative into a positive and kind of take that and continue on with it in a good way. So
there were definitely a couple moments where it's like, what are we going to do next? Like, are we ever going to see people again? We've all been busting our ass for 15 years, and poof, it's done. Like, not. Yeah. What are we going to do here? So.
But you found that the time efficiency is much more better with
Absolutely.
the Zooming, and as
Yeah.
opposed to you can probably cram more in a day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I could care less to ever be on another Zoom meeting in my life, but you know, you do what you got to do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Got lots on the go.
Yes.
How do you balance work and personal life
Sure.
and keep things?
Yep. Pre-COVID, I had one company, CR Creative, here every day with everybody else, that sort of thing. Balancing work and personal life wasn't too bad because I was starting to build a team, and we got to the size that I had managers in place to deal with a lot of the operational, so I could focus more on the strategic and direction of the company. COVID hit and all that went out the window. We start again and figure out where we're going to go and just kind of basically fight fires all day, which it is what it is. Post-COVID, I found the opportunity to acquire another business, Team Outfitters, in Sarnia. So now I've gone from being more strategic, higher level, to being right back in the weeds operationally, which I found I loved again. You know, I've been out of it a little bit, that it was nice to kind of be back into it. One thing that I still maintain, and I tried to maintain, I was able to do it a little bit better through when I was just CR, but at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock when I got home, there was no phones, there was no cell phones, there was no nothing. I got 2 young girls, I got a family at home, that was family time. Watch TV, play games, whatever the case is. Sometimes when they go to bed, I would pull the laptop back out, but very rarely, especially when it was just the CR thing, I could kind of manage my day a little bit more effectively. I like to start early. That's one thing ever since the partnership kind of dissolved, I've been out of the door at 5:30 in the morning every day. I'm one of those 5 a.m. club guys, and I love it. I get more done I get more done between 5 and 8 than I do the rest of the day. So that's my time to work, and then the evenings is my time to relax. That really hasn't been the case a lot since, but I've been able to kind of somewhat maintain that separation. And weekends, I rarely pull out a computer or a phone or anything like that. That's completely devoted to family time and personal time and unwinding. I never was a thing. Never really thought much about, vacation. Yeah, we need to take vacation. It doesn't really do much, but it really does. Taking weekends aren't enough. 4-day weekends aren't enough. To take a full week to unwind is absolutely necessary in order to kind of rejuvenate and come back ready to take on another day.
So when you go away for that long, how many days does it take you to fully unplug till you hit that relaxation mode?
Last year was day 1 when I dropped my cell phone in the lake. But normally it takes a couple days, and it's still maybe daily check-ins or every other day check-ins or a text message, anything going on, but I don't have too much of a hard time to kind of wind down. Yeah.
Usually people have a little bit of withdrawal the first few days.
Yeah, coming back usually is the worst because the 10,000 emails to dive through and all that, but it is what it is.
Makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced burnout owning all these businesses? And if so, how do you deal with it?
Well, the last time I experienced it, I actually started Googling how to power through burnout. And yeah, the answers aren't what I wanted to hear. So yes, I have. Yes, it's real. Yes, it sucks. I vividly remember the first time. It was borderline. It was basically a full-blown anxiety attack where it was just awful. I had it in my head that things were going to go completely sideways. I was vibrating. It was terrible. It was the point I knew that, something had to change quickly because this is not sustainable. There's been multiple times since then, but I can kind of understand when it's going to come on, and I can make some changes ahead of time. I've done a lot of research on this to kind of try to stay ahead of it. The last time, it was basically one of those situations where there is no escape, there is no vacation. You can't go anywhere, you can't stop, you have to put your head down and keep running and figure it the fuck out. And I did, but it wasn't fun. And you start to see that you start to miss stuff and make mistakes and stuff like that. But it was the situation I put myself in. I had to kind of keep up with everything I've taken on and figure out a way through it. I would not recommend anybody take that approach to it by any way, shape, or form, but the whole vacation thing is absolutely a necessity for somebody that's going to put in the hours and grind the way that I like to do, to be able to kind of unwind and throw the cell phone in the lake and have a break. So,
do you ever just take time? Is there times that you actually block off during the day at any time for a small little, like an hour every day, like midday or something, that you just turn your phone off and stick it in a drawer?
Yeah, my one mentor I work with, Coach Laura, called it block out the bullshit time. And she actually recommended I put a sign on my door that says, "This is the no bullshit hour." I try. Now that time now is like me getting caught up on paperwork or doing stuff like that. At least I can focus my energy on one thing and not be pulled in 1,000 different directions. That is kind of that escape, if you will, throughout the day, that if I can kind of hammer out a little bit of time where nobody bugs me, nobody can interrupt me during that moment, then I can feel like I'm getting ahead and staying in charge a little bit better. So,
do you have any mentors that you go to for advice?
Yes, lots.
Or guidance, anything?
I am huge on coaching and mentoring and everything like that. I think it's why we are where we are today, and I won't make any bones about it. I've got a great mentor, friend, Jerry Viernick, I've worked with for years and years and years. Don Anderson from the SLBDC. I've worked with a coach in recent years, Laura Gasner-Odding. She's out of Boston, I believe, doing some virtual sessions. I've attended a Tony Robbins event. I know I get side eyes when I go to talk about that, but just being able to kind of have somebody to bounce ideas off of or be that sober second look has been invaluable. Like it definitely, being an entrepreneur, it's tough to turn to other people that get it, what we're into, like, dealing with the different situations and different issues that somebody that works a 9 to 5 really doesn't see. So having mentors that have been there, done that, understand exactly what you're going through and being able to kind of see it from a different light has been pivotal in the growth and development of this company. I would say to anybody out there, that would be, my regret is I hadn't started earlier and not being too, I don't know, vain is the right word or not, to take advice from people like that. Because, a different set of eyes doesn't hurt ever, to be able to, sometimes you get too close to the sun, you can't see what's going to get you. Being able to bounce ideas and stuff like that has been a major benefit to growing this thing.
I like the mix that you threw, though. It seems like you've got a good mix of people that
Interesting.
From different, as opposed to just your line of work. So,
and none of them are really in my line of work, which has been interesting because it's not somebody that gets too focused on web development or design. It's more people like Jerry, who I've worked with for years and years and years, who's done a tractor dealership. So, but he understands HR, he understands employee situations, he understands systems and financial and stuff like that. That's been able to kind of bring a different light to the table. And even Don over at SLBDC, he gets exposed to so many different businesses, and his experience is incredible. That being able to bounce ideas off and that sort of thing has been great. I touched on the Tony Robbins thing. It was a business mastery course I went to in Florida. It was 2,500 like-minded individuals in a room for 4 days. It was so inspiring and so incredible to talk to people that ran $10 million companies that, the situations they're running into are similar to what we're running into. Mm-hmm. So bouncing just at different scales, bouncing different ideas and solutions off them. So
that's awesome. What would you classify as one of your biggest successes this far?
It's probably two. One of them, and this is not ranking one over the other, but one of them was the relationship we built with Articat. We started that with dealing with a local company, Podolinsky Farm Equipment. They were an Articat dealer. We worked with them to do some direct mail, some different stuff, impressed their district sales manager, who understood where the value was, allowed us to kind of work with his other dealers he worked with, and then kind of continued to work our way up the chain to a point that we had the trust and faith in just about everybody in the company at one point that we could deliver and we could create results. And we did that. We did a couple. I think our biggest campaign was just over 2 million pieces to every province, state, territory in North America. It was incredible. Being able to play with the big boys on that level was definitely an accomplishment. The second one, which is even more dramatic where we are today, is the team we've built at CR. We've got Marnie and Leanna, who manage the majority of the day-to-day here now, that absolutely crush it and allow me to kind of focus my attention in other ways. Getting over that hurdle of, trying to think you have to do everything yourself and not being able to delegate or trust in other people. It was tough and it took a long time, but I've built a team here now that, with the right leadership, that can absolutely crush the day-to-day without me having to be involved in every single little decision. That's probably one of the most successful things we've ever accomplished here, is getting to that level of business that these guys can bring to the table and kick ass every day. So.
What would you personally define success to you?
I ask this question in every single episode, and every single time it's different. I don't think anybody has ever said it's money. and I'm 100% in that camp. I think my answer to that would be, I've said it from the start, the day I don't want to wake up and go to work, I'm done. So I think success is actually waking up and enjoying what's ahead of you, or looking forward to what's ahead of you. Because I can't imagine the people that have to wake up and dread getting out of bed because they don't want to drag their ass into the job they hate. I absolutely love the challenges that are going to be in front of me every day. Sometimes I want to rip my hair out by 8:30, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So I think that's absolutely my definition of success, is that you can look forward to kind of tackling whatever project you have ahead of you that day.
What would your biggest failure be?
There was a time, back early days, when as a business we screwed up royally. And we had to lay off more than half of our staff in a single day. It was gut-wrenching. And it was something that, even during when we were going through it, having all the interviews and stuff, it was something that imprinted to me that I'm never going to let it get to this point again. We could have, looking back, we realized where we screwed up, we could have fixed it, we could have done a few different things differently, but we will never get to that point. Now, obviously, COVID definitely brought up those thoughts again, in terms of we may not have the ability to keep going, but we found a way. But it was absolutely a point that we screwed up big time, take full accountability for it, and won't ever let it get to that point again. There's been some other times throughout the course of the years. I think in terms of failure, I would hover around staffing, where we could have done things differently with some staff members to be able to kind of build either more training or better relationships or whatnot, to be able to maintain some of those things. We've definitely missed up there a few times, and that was just, I think a lot of that was we didn't know what we didn't know at the time, and we were kind of growing and kind of building out our HR department and all that. But that's probably one of the darkest days I've had in business, for sure, that I don't wish to ever touch again. So
The highs and lows of entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Every business owner tends to have similar problems, just at different scales. Mm-hmm. So that's where, again, talking to others that have been there, done that, definitely helps kind of figure out different ways around it. So yeah.
Do you feel that there is any missed opportunities anywhere that you wish you would have jumped on? Any regrets on anything that you might have looked back on and wish you would have pursued more? Or
probably the opposite. I wish I wouldn't have pursued some of the opportunities I've done. I tend to follow the bouncing ball, and it's like there's a squirrel, I got to go chase after that, and I got to go chase after this and chase after this. Slow down, be more methodical about decisions makings, and this isn't maybe the best opportunity for us now. It might be someday, but not now. So I think I've probably taken not too many risks, but could have slowed down and thought about some of the decisions a little bit more before jumping in with 2 feet. I'm kind of a let's figure it out after we're already up to our neck. I would say more of that than missing out on any opportunities. It's more saying no to some of the opportunities that have come at us.
what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
Ever received?
Yeah. Or given.
Or given? Maybe all in the same thing, but if you say you're going to do something, do it. I couldn't tell people that enough. I taught a class one time in Fanshawe, and that was my kind of opening and closing remarks, is that there's one secret to success in business. If you say you're going to deliver, deliver. If you say you're going to be there, show up, and don't make any excuses. Like, even with your background with real estate, having contractors say they're going to show up and you don't see them for days on end. It seems it's so easy. Like, if you say you're going to be there, be there. Or you say you're going to hit that deadline, do it, no matter what. And we kind of put proof in the pudding of where we're at. We'll work all night if we have to get the job done. If we say we're going to deliver, we're going to deliver. So that's probably the best advice I've ever received and given is that.
Just put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
If you had a chance to start over, would you do anything differently?
No.
Like?
Again, there's been a lot of successes, there's been some failures, there's been some missteps, there's been some, incredible accomplishments, but every single time, whether we've succeeded or failed, we've learned something, and even having the ability now to try completely new things and experience, new opportunities is something I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And I know that sounds pretty cookie cutter. That's what most people answer to this question when I ask it as well. But yeah, I think if you love it, you got to stick with it, and if not, get the hell out.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know, but probably I'm not done owning companies. I think I really like the growth portion of the company of building and developing and creating efficiencies and stuff like that.
Do you see it in the same kind of umbrella as Team Outfitters and
Not
CR
necessarily.
Creative? Or?
No, I am a shareholder in another company now, which couldn't be more opposite to what we're doing, called Life Expressions, that does fingerprints of dead people.
Wow.
Whole different story, yes. But different opportunities like that of, understanding, again, if the right people are involved, then it makes the decision making a little bit easier, of jumping into just different opportunities and trying different things. I've always wanted to own a restaurant. I think it's a terrible idea, but I've had an idea to open a sandwich shop for years and years and years. So maybe someday, but I just like learning new things and trying different things, and just, one of my favorite things for a while was watching that masterclass. It's online.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So many different stories and different things. It's just everything's interesting to me when it comes to business. So yeah.
Okay. So I guess at the end of all of your interviews, you do a rapid fire question period.
Absolutely. It's been the same set of questions with one addition after our very first episode.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Great.
Are you a morning person or a night hawk?
Morning, 100%. I'm lucky if I see 8:30 at night.
Nice. Same.
Yeah?
Perfect. That's like an ideal nighttime.
Yeah, that's good. I'm done.
Done. Do you prefer to read the news on paper or on a device?
Neither. I listen to the news in the morning when I drive to work, and then I'm done. COVID has really made me hate social media with a passion, and especially local news that comes with that. But obviously there's still a need for it, but now I try to limit as much time as possible on there.
How do you feel about podcasts?
Love them.
Do you have a favorite? Do you
Yes.
have somebody that you...
See, I've always struggled with CR. We do things so differently here. Like, we're a little bit of everything. We're a marketing company, we're a print company, we're a sign company, we're this and that. Whereas at Team Outfitters now, it's more of screen printing. So because it's more niche, there's a lot more relevant content out there for that. So I get falling down different rabbit holes with that type of stuff. What was another big one? I used to be obsessed with Gary Vee and listen to all of his podcasts every single day and keynotes and stuff like that. So yeah, but now I'm more in the niche stuff, something specific to screen printing or marketing or something like that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, city life or country life?
Absolutely country life.
Figures with...
I lived in the city when I went to college, and I was literally ripping the walls down. We roped all the shelving out of a shed to build a ramp for our GTs one winter because we were so bored being in the city all the time. It was, nothing but country.
So you're a Green Acres boy through and through.
100%. Yeah.
What is one of your things on your bucket list?
To go on vacation to one of those huts over the water in Jamaica or Belize or something like that.
What about the Maldives?
The Maldives, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool too. Yeah.
I think that's everybody's bucket list.
Yeah.
Oh, what is your biggest pet peeve?
When somebody is late, it drives me freaking
Right?
crazy.
Lombardi time, people.
Yes. And even 5 minutes early is not early enough. I agree. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Anything but vegetables. I don't eat vegetables.
Country boy, me and potatoes.
I don't. Yeah, I know. I don't. I can't eat onions at all. But I'll eat onion rings. It's the weirdest thing. No, I can't. No, I'm not a vegetables guy. But any sort of meat or anything like that. Yeah.
Is there like a specific ethnic background of food that you enjoy more than others?
Italian probably more than anything.
Nice.
That's my background as well. But,
Okay, what's your favorite Italian dish then?
Either some sort of pasta or pizza or something like that.
Well, that's the Italian way,
Yeah,
but is
I
there
know,
anything
yeah.
specific?
No, probably nothing that jumps out as specific. Yeah. As long as it's not vegetables. As long as there's no onions or peppers or stuff in it, then I'm good. Yeah.
So basically tortellini.
That'd work. Yeah.
Dogs or cats or farm animals?
Dogs. Definitely allergic to cats. Only dogs. Yes.
Your workspace, how do you keep it clean, messy?
Organized chaos. It's not that bad. It's better over the years. Like I have nooks and crannies I can hide all the garbage, but I like keeping things organized, and my inbox is a thing of art where I have 700 messages, but I could tell you what's urgent, what's not urgent, what's this, what's that. So
Come do mine then.
yeah, gladly, yeah. That's why I spent a lot of time researching productivity and how to manage, and I've tried every friggin' online productivity or tracker or list or something like that. And
Is there one that you recommend? Is there like a...
None of them. They all suck. Yeah. Cool.
It's good to know.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Don't waste my time. You just saved me hours.
Just, different colored flags on emails. That's my trick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
I think I know where it's going, but I could be wrong.
No, everything.
Oh, good.
Absolutely everything.
Good.
Especially now that I have 2 young daughters, it's really everything.
Yes.
From Taylor Swift to Johnny Cash to AC/DC and everything in between. My oldest daughter could sing Bob Seger, Turn the Page, before she could really even talk. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what song do you think they would play for you at your funeral?
Roll Me Away by Bob Seger.
Nice. Nice.
Great tune.
Well, this was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed interviewing you and having your take on all these questions. So thank you for having me.
I absolutely can't thank you enough, Jamie. This has been a blast. It's really different sitting on this side of the interview, but I had a great time, and yeah, I really appreciate you coming out and doing this.
Again, I hope everybody understands what you all do here, because it's pretty mind-blowing what you've done.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.